Wow, super cold up here. But it's been a beautiful day, sun shining, as you can see. Awesome sunset. It's about 5:45 now. But I just wanted to explain to you, so what I've done over the last couple of years, made these videos on YouTube, and a lot of people say to me, "Hey Nick, is this your full-time job?" And I'm like, hell yeah, because I'm waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning and sometimes earlier and working, trying to figure out exactly how to do this properly. And so what I do as well behind the scenes is I run like basically a relocation agency. That's why in these videos I always say, if you want to check out my services, go to algarveaddicts.com. So what I do is I've pulled together a whole team of professionals that I've known for some time, and I know that they're good at what they do, and I refer people through the whole way through the relocation process. And I also offer calls, like paid video calls. So what I do is I get on a Google Meet and we chat and stuff about where to live in the Algarve, and then when people say, okay, I'm ready to come over, and then I say, okay, cool. Well, you need a lawyer, and you need an accountant, you need a financial advisor, you need a real estate agent. And I also do day tours and drive people around the Algarve when they come over here on scouting tours. So that really kind of bridges the gap between the video and real life, which is sometimes a little bit different. So it's very, very important, I think, to do these scouting tours. And then I support the sale of houses, I work with the real estate agents, and basically that's how I get a bit of money to keep this channel going and to keep this my full-time job, which is important because I love making these videos. I really do. So now, in the next segment here, I'm going to reveal my plans for 2023. All right, so it's a little bit warmer now that I'm sitting in my office, and this is another story that I want to tell and go through the whole process from what it was like before, because it was an absolute mess of a garage, and now it's kind of like this pimped out, awesome YouTube studio. But I'm really happy with it, really am, and I'd love to tell you the story, but it's a story for another video. So I've told you about the relocation process. There is something that I'd like to get into as well, is that for 2 years now, I've been supporting the sales of real estate, and I've been working with a whole bunch of real estate agents, actually a small selective group, which I trust and who have performed really well, and they've been great. And I want to continue working with them, but I also want to explore doing this myself. So, we've taken the steps of selecting a couple of select people that we'd love to work with, and we're starting to do a few experiments of actually becoming a real estate agency ourselves. And that's quite exciting, taking on a new person to fill this role. So I'll introduce you to them soon. And I actually want to introduce you to the whole team, because there's quite a few people who are assisting in very part-time roles. Like I have an editor who helps me out a lot. I've got an administration assistant who's fantastic. And there's quite a few other people working on a course with a guy called Clive. So there's a lot of people I'm working with, and I'd love to bring them together and introduce them to you in one video one day. But this video is all about what the plans are for Algarve Addicts, what we've done in the past, because in 2022 I published 42 videos, and it's supposed to be one a week, so I missed 10 videos out, which was okay. I'm okay with that. I would prefer next year to be doing 52, but even if we can get a few more out, it'd be great. So we're getting the system sorted out to do that. But just want to talk a little bit about last year's videos, because it was an exciting year, and looking back on it, it's like, wow, I did all those incredible things. So, 2022 was a highly varied year. It really was. Hang on, I just want to get myself a little bit of tea, because it's important. Now, 2022 was a highly varied year, and I did some crazy stuff. Like we spent a night in this €4 million mansion on a golf course. I don't know if you've seen these things. Hopefully you've seen some of these videos. But if you haven't, go check them out. So it was actually a golf competition that was organized for my wife's business, and we were going to go and play, and she wanted me to play with the CEO, so I did, and it was great. But after my shoes falling off, because I haven't played golf for like 10 years, so the soles of my shoes just tore off.
Where's your soul gone, Nick?
My soul, I have my soul. And then this was on Monterey, which is the best and most difficult and most expensive golf course in the whole of Portugal. And so halfway, I kind of gave up scoring and just started, I had to have a beer at least just to calm my nerves. But it was a beautiful course and we had a fantastic function afterwards. And we spent an amazing night in this villa the night before. And then again, we spent another night in a villa down in just east of Quinta do Lago. There's a very exclusive section called Pinheiros Altos, which means high pine trees or tall pine trees. And that house was going for 5 million. And we did a video in that very early morning rise. And we did a workout session with Aoife and Sean Donnellan, which is great fun. It really was good. And then, I haven't done too much else in the real estate side of stuff. But I remember making a video about Lule being invaded, which is quite fun. It did really well. There's a lot of stuff about, golden visas, because there's a lot of misinformation about golden visas, a lot of misunderstanding about golden visas. Sorry, it's my dog. So I decided to try and set the record straight, and it was great. Did very well. A lot of people were very interested because golden visas is still a highly misunderstood area. So if you do have any questions about golden visas, get in touch. I also talked a lot about, I did some walking tours actually. We went on a walking tour around Fuzeta, São Brás del Portel, Vila Moura, Cascais, and Alcântara in Lisbon. And I haven't done any walking tours for ages, so let me know if you want those back. I really enjoy making them, even though I feel like a bit of a knob walking around with my video camera. But it works well. I went down on a weekend down to Sagres. Actually, it was just one night, and we stayed in the Martinel Resort and made a video of Sagres and Algarve, which turned out fantastically well. And it was, even though the weather was a little bit iffy, it was a fantastic 2 days spent with my buddy Mauro. Just really digging into those two towns, which are quite interesting, really are. So then, I also remember making a video about a train that I didn't catch because it didn't arrive. What else have I done? I mean, I went up to Porto a lot. We went to Porto and Braga and Peneda de Gerês Park, right in the north of Portugal. Saw some beautiful things. Stayed a couple of nights in a hotel up there. Made a video with my wife about Porto and mainly about the river trip that we did from Porto up to Régua. It was beautiful. Then we took a train back. Met a whole bunch of really fun South Africans who were living up in Viana do Castelo. And it was a fun day out. It really was great. A little bit of a wine tasting as well, which is not too bad. I also made a video about Robin, my colleague who takes all the day tours. I do some tours. He does the majority of them. And he's really good at it. He really is. So check out that video if you want to get to know him, if you want to come on a scouting tour with Robin. What else? I'm just having a look at my channel here. Yes, of course, there was this big BGA video tour. So my daughter and I took 10 days in early October 2022, and we went all the way from Algarve, all the way up through Lisbon, Cascais, all the way up to West Central Portugal, up to Porto, Braga, and then came all the way down through Fundão. We stayed the night in this beautiful place in Marvão, which is a absolutely incredible fortified village. And I'd really like to do actually a video. I wrote an article for Algarve Plus magazine about these fortified towns in the east that were actually protecting Portugal from Spain after the sort of Spanish occupation. But apparently it's not called an occupation. But in 1580 to 1640, I think it was. I stand corrected, but that's when the Spanish took over and governed Portugal. And then after that, there was a 28-year war, which the English eventually helped us sort out. So that was the BGA video tour. We did a great tour, and then we came back through Setúbal and came back to Algarve. And there's still one or two videos that are coming out from that time, but I wanted to intersperse them with videos about luge, for example, in the Algarve. Now, I did a really fun video about Praia de Luge, and it was a different format because what I normally used to do was just go there and take some drone footage and do some Google Earth and understand the town from a sort of fairly clinical perspective. But now what I want to do is go back to all those towns and meet all the people and speak to them about their work and what they do and how expats live in Portugal. So also, we're not averse to speaking to the old local, because the local Algarvians or Algarvios are very hard to find. Because what I mean by that is that actually a lot of Portuguese actually move down to the Algarve as well. So there's not just foreigners living here. There's sort of Portuguese from the other part. So I'm talking about the local Algarvios who are actually born here. Not that many. So a lot of the Portuguese have moved down here to live a better life. All right. Well, yeah, we did 42 videos. I can't name them all. But I remember doing a video about a heat wave and e-foiling. That was amazing. That was good fun. Braga as well. History in Lisbon was great. I'd love to do more history videos actually. But anyway, you get the picture. Go look at my channel and you'll see all these old videos. And I'm just trying to mention them to bring them back to life, because a lot of them, I do the same. When people release a video, they watch the video and then that's it. You don't go back and back and back. So maybe do a deep dive. And there is a very good resource, which I hope is a good resource. It's algarveaddicts.com/videos, and you can go there and you can see a map of all the videos that I've made which are related to towns. So hopefully you want to use that as a kind of an encyclopedia, so you can actually get an idea and say, okay, thinking about that town, let's look at that town and take the time to explore it on Google Earth and Google it and Wikipedia and just research the towns as well yourself when you're looking to live here. So in 2023, as I said, it's going to be quite exciting. I'm excited about it, really am. I'm going to film a whole series of videos about the Algarve again, but from a people's perspective, like I mentioned before. So I'm going to go and interview all the expats who live, locals who live there, all people who live there and run businesses in the towns, just to get a real feel of the community and try and take the pulse of these towns instead of having like a clinical overview. So that's exciting. The second most exciting thing as well is we're going on a trip to South Africa. So as you probably know, I'm from South Africa. I was born in Cape Town, and we're going to go. My wife, Manuela, has spent a lot of time, about 20 years actually, in Johannesburg. So we're going to go back and see some of her friends. We're going to go trip down all the way to the Garden Route, which is, if you've been to South Africa, you'll know that goes from Port Elizabeth all the way down to Cape Town. And it's a beautiful section. So I'm going to take my camera along and, try my hand at sort of some travel videos. So we'll see how that goes. And, that should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to spending time in the bush with the animals, etc. And then, going to visit all the funky places in Cape Town. So that's great. And then when we come back, I've got a trip scheduled with my group of paddlers. And we're going to head up to the Algarve Dam, which is right on the eastern border of Portugal and Spain. It's basically, if you draw a line from Lisbon all the way east across to the border, that's where the Algarve Dam is. And it's one of the biggest dams in the whole of Europe when it was created. So that's exciting too. I'm really looking forward to that. A bit of boy time. And then in May, I have been roped into doing a caminho, which is a religious walk from Castelo Branco in the east, or some northeast of Lisbon, all the way to Fatima, which is a 130-kilometer walk. And I actually am excited about that because I haven't seen much of that country. We spent Christmas up there last year in Pedrógão and Castelo Branco near there. So we saw a little bit of it, but at the time it was really bad weather and I just couldn't see a thing because it was raining all the time. So this walk in May should be really beautiful, sort of almost springtime, summertime. So that's exciting. And then after that, we're just trying to sandwich in a weekend at Figs on the Funchal, which is this beautiful lakeside. What is it? It's a lodge, basically. It's a lodge. It's and you can go and spend the time there. And they do lots of retreats and things like painting retreats, etc., and drawing and bird watching, all kinds of stuff. So that'll be great to get to spend some time with the family there. And obviously, we'll film that. And then, I'm trying to get a trip together to go to Madeira, and I'm very, very lucky. Hang on a second. Phew, it's getting hot in here. This is actually one of the warmest rooms in the house right now. This is my garage, and it used to be chock full of absolute crap. And I was huddled into the corner, and I used to film against my little curtains as a backdrop. And it's changed a lot now, and it's a really awesome place to work in. And it's probably, like I said, one of the warmest rooms in the house because it's been re-insulated. So I'm going to create a video all about that and show the transformation from garage full of crap to amazingly funky YouTube studio. Which is awesome. I'm really happy with it. So I've also been dying to get across to Madeira. I've been to Madeira quite a few times, and I'd love to get back to go and make some videos because it's such a spectacular place. And I want to hike all the way along the top there. And there's a guy I know who's got a touring company, and really could be exciting. I'd love to chat to people there. Some digital nomads, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of stuff going on in Madeira, so I'd love to check that out and bring it to you. that trip to Madeira might morph into a trip to Azores, or we might do a trip to Azores as well, depending on how well things go. But this year, it's also, I've talked about a lot about different videos and different trips and things, and I'm also going to try and focus on so many different things. I'm trying to focus on real estate videos as well, because I think that's the biggest challenge that a lot of people have when they come over and relocate to the Algarve. So I really want to help. I really want to try and help and bring all the stats out of the box and just showcase, there's places where you can find crime stats and things like that, which is not really an issue in Portugal, but, it's good to know. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these videos. I really do. And obviously I could never make these without you. So I'm really privileged, and I feel so grateful to have this channel and the associated businesses around it, like the tours business, the video calls, and just general relocation and helping people. And also, the property search business, which will be turning into a proper real estate agency in the future. So I'm excited. It really is. It's an amazing opportunity. And thank you so much for watching. Now tell your friends and subscribe and all that stuff. Thanks a lot. See you next week.
AlgarveAddicts.com